Now, as you can clearly see, I'm starting this video off in a different area. That is because I'm updating my tutorial for the M26 Manor because it's a bit outdated now due to the changes they've made. So, no dilly-dallying, let's get into it. A quick reminder for you all, this thing has a nice pellet spread of 11 pellets, as you can see here, in this nice dual trapezoid shape. It does 11 damage for 11 pellets. God knows how I fucked that up last time.
You stupid.
So you get a nice 121 on a full pellet hit. Now there is obvious damage drop off, so the farther you go, the less damage this will do. As we can clearly see, 33 turns to 20, turns to 35, 24, 21, so forth. So on and so forth. Now, the big kicker here, something I do need to update, is the fact that a quick melee combo, one tap combo on the light is no longer possible. So if I shoot him quick melee, that's 146 damage. Because they've decided to nerf quick melee to 25, we've been given this bullshit. So you can no longer quick melee combo a light. A medium, still perfectly fine. You can go bang, bang, and then a nice kick to finish off that 8 damage. Perfectly fine. There's still some breathing room too, so if you know, say you miss some of your pellets, you go bang, do that, 99.
No.
Okay, well, maybe hit more than that, but, there's a little bit of breathing room with the medium melee combo, but not as much compared to usual. So this has greatly changed how you want to play against a light. Instead of getting the jump on a light player where you would say maybe you know a light's there, but you're trying to prepare for a fight, so you portal in, bang bang, boom 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 boom. You can't do that no more. There is no getting the jump for a quick and fast kill on a light. You have to actually duke it out with them and 2-tap that guy, which isn't that bad. This thing is pretty forgiving with the spread pattern, so hitting 150, even standing here, it's 3 shots. If I aimed it a bit more to one angle, might have gone into 2. So overall, the gun still works fine on simple combos like that, but lights, you don't want to quick melee at light anymore. Unless you somehow have done this, and then you've hit one pellet there, then sure, quick melee if you don't want to risk fucking up your shots again. But other than that, you're only getting a quick melee combo off on your medium. For the heavy class, absolutely nothing has changed. Bang, bang, bang. Damage to this thing hasn't been nerfed or buffed, so it's still a 3-tap to the fat guys. Now, as for your loadout, nothing changes. Glitch is still an amazing way to get rid of, winch, dome, mesh, turrets, anything that would stop you from pushing in with a shotgun, anything that could really, make that fight annoying. You can just kind of pop one in there, and bibbidi-bobbidi boom, that guy can't do shit except shoot you. Portals, I will always recommend portals on a light. It's amazing maneuverability. You can usually get the jump on anyone, get yourself out of a situation, reposition yourself, blah blah blah. The list goes on. These things are beautiful. As for your last gadget, I mean, if you're running a team comp that has a heavy, you're gonna need to run this because that's just how the finals is. More than one heals is pretty good. But I'd say if you do not like running heals like me, your next best thing is actually the nullifier, which works pretty well with just going into a fight and evening the playing field. If you're just 1v3ing and maybe 2 people of that team have pushed you, you just go in, bang, pop the nullifier. You can now focus your attention on the others. Okay, and then focus your attention on anyone else while kicking one of them out of the fight. And this thing recharges pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie. So you can definitely capitalize, use it more than once in a fight if you gotta move away and whatnot. Any other honorable mentions I'd have, I mean, Invis. I personally don't like using Invis much anymore. When I started playing light, I did use Invis, but it's kind of just become this thing where the more I play light with dash, the more it's I don't really want to run Invis, because this whole playstyle of just, going in and being ooh, standing still for God knows how long to get the drop on someone isn't fun. I mean, I used to use invis as a way to, like, mess people up during a fight. So say, for example, it's like, you know, I'm in a fight with someone, bang, boom, fuck around with them, something like that. I always was someone who used invis to either start a fight or mid-fight as a way to kind of fuck with the enemy. But I just feel like, you know, Dash's maneuverability makes that 10 times easier just because it gives you the space and it forces the enemy to actually look instead of like look for where you're going to go instead of just like sweeping a cone and finding the invisible like effect that you give off. Grapple. Grapple I don't really have much to say. I feel like, you know, running grapple with the matter is just trying to LARP his neon guts. Let's be real here. Also, I guess, talking back on gadgets here really quickly, another one I'd say is good is, you know, sonar nades. You know, classic, cannot go wrong with sonar nades. You need information on where people are, chuck one of these bad boys in, boom, you now know where an entire team is, and you can plan your attack on there. The whole point with playing as a shotgun is just planning out your moves as you go. So, like, say, for example, this is a crowded house, right? I'm in a crowded room, and I got some cover here. There's one person here already. But then there's two people pushing in from a doorway over there. So what I want to do as a shotgun player, I want to jump through the window, get the kill, jump out immediately, and then I want to reposition, say jump through a window here, catch them off guard here, get that guy, jump back, go around, go into the other room, maybe nullify him just a bit to fuck him up, and then boom. It's always planning your moves in the moment or beforehand. You don't want to go in there without an idea of what to do. You always want to have a fallback, which is why portals are useful. Or, you know, glitches are good for just slowing them down a bit. And, of course, nullifier for kind of getting one person out of the fight. That's my ideal loadout. If, like, heals were not an option, this is what I'd be running in every single match that you see in my videos. Because this just works so well in capitalizing and bringing out, like, the strengths of this weapon. I think that's all I really had to update on this tutorial. Nothing crazy. I mean, to be fair, the nerf to quick melee has been very annoying. The knockback's fine. This is very good for, like, you know, fucking someone up, because it's not knocked back too far that the shotgun doesn't do enough damage to it. It's just the fact that quick melee has been nerfed by almost half of it, half of what it was originally, that it kind of just ruins, it changes how you have to play against light players anymore. Like, you can't go against an M11 light and get the jump on them anymore, which was like, that was your biggest way to capitalize with the M26 matter, was to run in and do that, because they'd be dead due to the 40 damage of the quick melee. But since they didn't since, you know, this gun hasn't been touched, and the only patch that this thing ever got was a 10% tighter spread and more environmental damage. They're not going to buff or nerf this thing, because I think the gun in and of itself is in a good state, but given the nerf to quick melee, it has kind of limited how you want to play. Like, you can't be as aggressive. Like, you can be aggressive still. Like, you can be hell of aggressive with this weapon, but you can't be, like, insane, you know, go in, one-tap combo their light, and bring it down to an instant 3v2. You have to actually, you know, plan out. You gotta go in prepared. You gotta prepare to engage them in a gunfight in close enough range. Because, like, if I'm starting here, they're over there. If I don't know how to jiggle peek, you know, if I was, like, you know, trying to shoot him any other way, other than just, like, simple peeks like that, this still takes a lot of damage. Like, you still will take a lot of damage from that, but you will minimize the amount of damage you're taking. And that's kind of how you have to play with a shotgun, is just maximizing your output while minimizing the amount that you take in, so that you can prepare for whatever fight comes your way next. And, I mean, once you kind of, like, get the mindset down, it's pretty easy. It feels just like, it's like riding a bike, you know. It's a bit woozy at first, but the more you get into it, the more it just becomes like second nature. I don't really think there's anything else here that no, there's nothing else I really want to say. I will say this though, there is one M26 Matter guy. There's another dude I've like encountered who runs this gun. This guy runs like flashbangs in his loadout. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't really... I feel like these are okay, but they do a bit more harm than good when it comes to like team comp. Because anything like... Sonar is only ups, you know? Sonar scans the enemy lines. H+ heals your teammates. Nullifier knocks one of them out. Flashbang, while yes, flashes, it hits yourself. And when you're throwing that into a team fight with your teammates, there's a good chance you're going to hit your teammates with that. And next thing you know, they're yelling at you and calling you a dickhead. So I say, flashbangs are like the one thing you kind of want to ignore. I wouldn't personally run them. If you want to give them a try, I'd say go ahead. And at the end of the day, this is literally just my advice to anyone who just wants to play the gun. If you want to mix and match this loadout as crazy as you want, you can go right ahead. You know, you can replace this with goo, you can do whatever you want. But it's just, I feel this right here, like these three are like core items to the loadout. Well, of course it matters, but like these two right here are like core gadgets to the loadout because they just they take the Matter's strengths and they amplify them more. I think, yeah, you know, I don't think I have anything else I really have to update here. That's been my updated tutorial on the M26 Matter. Yeah, fix your servers, Embark.
Oh, good. You feel better now? Get it out of your system? Good. Maybe now we can finally shoot some goddamn guns.